And we're starting streaming. All right, folks. This week, the Batman starts to come together. We're going to get figure out what the future holds for Star Wars, and Spider-Man is coming to American theaters. All this and more this week in Geek. Boom, and we're back.
Let's tweet that stuff out.
Let's tweet it out.
We're here.
We're here. Come watch us.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek podcast, the all new and improved Grizzled Geek podcast, episode 21. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And Kirsten is out sick, right? Sick?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling well.
Not doing something cool?
No.
Not doing something cooler than the Grizzled Geek bag?
No,
because there's not much out there on a Thursday night.
I mean, unless she's psyching herself up for getting into the queue for San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday.
That's what I would be excited about. Sitting, staring at a computer screen for hours.
Yeah, she's practicing refreshing.
Refresh. Man, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Would you even want to go to San Diego Comic-Con?
At this point, I did, because I just went to San Diego last week.
Yeah. San Diego's awesome.
Yeah, and I walked around the convention center and I was reminiscing about Comic-Con and stuff like that. And I kind of, I miss it, but I miss what it was.
You miss the 90s Comic-Con.
Not what it is
Not
now.
the current Comic-Con.
So I don't know. I am very curious about doing the stuff that isn't in the convention center. All of the stuff that surrounds it, I'm kind of intrigued by, but I don't like crowds that are so heavily crowded you can't do anything.
You want to feel like cattle when you're heading to
I don't like that. And that's the thing. It wasn't like that in the 90s. Hello, Kyle 64791.
Nice 64791.
Yeah. All right.
Hey Kyle, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
So I don't really have a desire to go back to San Diego Comic-Con at this point.
I'm going to mess up the sound here over my mic. I want to make adjustments now that we're actually filming instead of beforehand because, we're prepared.
Mess with people.
Well, so great. So that's this weekend is
It's for people who went last year.
This
weekend is
so
getting
if someone
into the
wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con this year for the first time, Doug, what would they have to do?
Man, I don't
know somebody.
That's kind of. There's always a lottery. You have to go to their website and register. Mm-hmm. And then when you register, you're eligible to get into a drawing to order tickets. And I don't remember the exact process because I haven't done it in years and years. It's been
what you gotta
10 years.
What you got to hope for is, first off, you're not getting in on any day but Sunday for your first time. You have to
most likely.
You have to get into the lottery to buy a Sunday ticket to go for one day.
In theory, those tickets are open for everything. You just have to be super lucky that you get drawn
you're not
that early.
You're not getting a 40-day pass.
Probably not.
You're not going to get a 40-day pass. You get in on a Sunday, and then you get in, which gives you an advantage next year because then you get into the early.
Yeah, you get I don't know if it's early or it's a guaranteed lot. I forget exactly how it works, but
you're in the first group.
Once you're in there and you go year after year, you can pretty reliably go year after year. Right. I believe.
But there's no just going. You go into a virtual line and hope you can get tickets. Exactly.
Essentially. But there's more steps than that. You don't just log on one day and do it. You have to register ahead of time, and they give you a code or something like that, or a link, and you have to follow that, and you sit in a lobby for a while, and then you hope.
Both the lotteries, yeah, pretty much. It's a crazy ordeal to get into San Diego Comic-Con at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, if you're not into cosplay, it's not worth it anymore. Just, if you're just in it for the comic books, it's not the same anymore.
Well, it's not really a comic
It's not a comic convention anymore. It's a pop culture convention.
Yeah. When Mile High Comics pulled out of Comic-Con a couple years ago, that was kind of like the final
And I think most studio, or most publishers still go, and the independents and stuff like go. But you're better off nowadays if you really want to just get into the comic stuff. Is go to smaller, more local conventions.
Right.
Phoenix has one, Chicago has one, New York City has one.
I agree, Kyle. It's cool to do once.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool to do every year.
We used to go through the 90s, late 90s, through the early aughts. We went like almost every year.
Yeah, almost every year. The last year I went, I believe, was 2008. And that was, I actually just last minute got a ticket for just Sunday.
Yeah.
It was just Sunday, but that was the last time that it was like you didn't have to do anything crazy.
I remember last time I was with you, last time we went, when on Saturday we're eating lunch at Seaport Village, which is quarter mile down the road.
Yeah.
On the pier, and the line
goes all the way there.
The line to get in on Saturday went past that and down.
I mean, that is one good thing that that doesn't happen
and that was just
anymore.
for Saturday.
Now, that doesn't happen anymore because there's no reason to get in the line because if you don't have tickets already, you're not getting tickets.
Not getting tickets. Yeah.
So, I mean, it has taken care of that.
There's no showing up to get tickets. But like I said, there's a lot to do now that you don't have to get into the convention itself. Yeah. There's so much stuff going on. Like everybody puts on something, Nerdist, and
it is unreal that
the whole town turns into comic.
That big, that it's that crowded, that hard to get into, when their convention center is literally a mile long, I believe, and it is 3 stories or 4 stories. I'm not sure which. It's ginormous.
Yeah.
But it still sells out, and it's impossible to get it to.
We were going back when it was before they added on the extra. Yeah. The extra part of it.
We've been
Hall H part.
Then, the Hall H stuff was new after our first few times we went.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My favorite convention. It wasn't even. Was the year? Was it 92? After way back when we got all the Image comic #1 signed, and we had it took 2 Comic-Cons because we had to go to Comic-Con in San Diego, and then we had to go to Chicago Comic-Con because
you went to the show.
You didn't go. I went to the show because I think the Savage Dragon wasn't out yet, and what's Valentino's one? It was the Shadowhawk.
Oh yeah, Shadowhawk.
Yeah. I know there was 2 that wasn't out yet, so I had to go to both conventions to get them all signed. So I got my full, issue 1 of all the Image comics signed. It was like a 2 convention trip. This is back big, I was big into comics.
Right? Yeah.
We were like,
as I found the other day, not the other day. It's been months. The Target packs that were like multi packs of the
3 packs.
The first. Yeah, they're like hard-ish plastic packs of the Image #1 comics that you got at like Target or someplace like that. They're still in the package and everything. So
nice.
I have no idea if they're worth anything, but
I don't know. The Target comics. It's like a normal 3-pack. We used to buy those 3-packs comics all the time, but just like comics and porno mags, the 3-pack, there was always a crap one in the middle that they hid. They kind of sandwiched in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This may have just been multiple of the #1 of the issue #1, or it might have been multiple. I don't even remember what it was because it was. I just came across it. I was like, cool. I remember this vaguely, and didn't really pay much attention to it.
Got a vague memory of getting these. Yeah, we were back. We were buying all the variant covers and everything like back in the day. Yeah. When you could afford to buy all the variant covers. Now you got to pick one, pretty much.
Yeah. You can't even afford to buy comics anymore. $5. I don't believe it, man. $5.
I go there and I see, like, in JD's Comics, and I see the guys picking up their comics for the week, and they got these stacks of comics, man. And I'm like, that's about the amount I was picking up back in the day, but I was paying like $1.25.
Yeah.
An issue for them, and I don't know what. Like going there now, I'm like, oh man, it's so $5 for a comic.
Yeah, I mean. Yes, it's been 20 years since I was a serious comic collector, but is it 5 times more expensive? Really? All right.
Well, there's less people buying them. I don't know if they're less popular. But yeah, they're less popular than like the early 90s. Definitely. That was like the crazy.
There was crazy. Friggin' comic book artists were celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
So
like Rob Liefeld on in People magazine.
yeah, and going on the Tonight Show and stuff like that. So that doesn't happen anymore.
And in Gene commercials, which is thanks to the reminded me of the Absolute Geek podcast reminded me about the Gene commercial.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I remember after I saw it, I'm like, first I heard it, and your mind doesn't want to believe it. Like you're like, okay, Rob Liefeld was in a Jeans commercial.
Yeah.
Really, and then you watch it, you're like, okay, I remember it. Oh my god, my brain protected me from that memory, and then it was drudged up again.
What's in that box? Oh, nightmares.
Oh my god. All right, guys, let's jump into the nerd news this week. We're going to talk a little bit about the Batman. I want to get your opinion on some of this, Doug, because I know you are a huge The Batman fan.
Yes.
I mean, I who's not? I mean, he's one of the coolest characters out there. So everybody loves Batman. You can't say that you're not a Batman fan. However, I'm not as big a fan. I would say comic-wise, I'm more Detective Comics Batman fan than I am like a JLA Batman fan.
Right.
Because those are two different Batman in the comics.
Yes, they are.
Right?
Yeah, they definitely are.
One is the world's greatest detective, and the other one can take out like Superman or take out the JLA because he's that, I'm like,
He's that obsessive a planner and whatever.
yeah. Like when they go to fight, like stuff like Dark Side and stuff like that. Like first you're looking at that team going, why are they bringing Batman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly he's smart and a strategist, but wouldn't he be better off like back somewhere telling them how to do the plan instead of like toe to toe with these people?
Yep.
Because you're like, that's like ridiculous power levels, but then somehow he prevails and has a plan and a gadget to get him through that. But like his own comic he's more like the world's greatest detective, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
How does a guy fighting like guys named after birds and to go fighting these cosmically powered people with JLA. So I was never a big JLA Batman fan, but I do like Batman. But the latest Batman, the reboot, I guess, the one that's been in production for
seems like forever.
Yeah.
Since Justice League, so
yeah,
I don't know how long that's been. Over a year.
A while. We have the latest casting rumors, or casting. So we know that obviously Robert Pattinson is Bruce Wayne. Jeffrey Wright from Westworld was Commissioner Gordon. We know Paul Dano is the Riddler, which is I think was one of the best casting choices out here. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, which is I'm fine with. I don't know. I've seen her in a lot of things, but just from her look, I'm like she looks like she'd be a good Catwoman. Then we get the latest, which is a little head scratching. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Now, remember, Penguin was outside of Gotham, which actually was one of the best parts about Gotham was the Penguin. But on the big screen, Danny DeVito was the last Penguin on the big screen.
Based on the image, they are very much going more the semi-legitimate gangster, the Al Capone.
I want to see fat Colin Farrell. Is what I want to see. I want to see Colin Farrell, and I don't want a fat suit. I can tell a fat suit, wrinkled and stuff like that. I want Colin Farrell to get into it. Like if Joaquin Phoenix can lose all that weight for the Joker, Colin Farrell can pack on the pounds for the Penguin. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Farrell's a good actor.
Keep pitching Colin his bullseye. Again, let's try that one more time.
His most recent thing I've seen him in was Fantastic Beasts.
Hashtag fat Colin Farrell. That's a thing now. That's happening.
Fat Colin. He was good in Fantastic Beasts. I liked him in that. So I mean, he's a good actor. He can be a good actor.
Well, yeah. And then he can give you, Alexander the Great kind of performance.
Well, yeah. I think he's settled down. So I'm fine. I mean, it is a bit odd. Whatever. We'll see. I understand that if they're going on one of the big epic stories, the Firebug story, or they were going Hush or something like that, all of these people were part of that story.
Right.
But that was a comic that was over multiple issues, and
each one kind of focused on a bad guy.
Yeah. Well, and some of them were just background, like Riddler was in prison the whole time.
Right. He was kind of like,
and he just was. you only need a few panels for him to communicate the information he was giving to Batman.
Right.
But you don't cast somebody like this to be him for 3 or 4 scenes, and that's it.
Right.
So, I don't know. I hate it when they pack too many villains into a movie.
Right.
It ends up hurting the movie.
Yeah, unless this movie's going to be like 3 hours or something like this. Because they're going to do this story, right?
Unless they are from the beginning planning on it
the long
being
Halloween,
multiple. Right? Well, it could. I don't know what they're planning on doing.
Oh. So I thought that was. And if that's what they're doing, that's ambitious for a one movie.
Yeah, if they're planning on it being multiple movies long, then maybe all of this cast won't even show up, or maybe it's okay to only have them in a scene or two because they're going to be in the next one more or whatever. Right. I don't know. Like I said, I am a huge Batman fan. I like Batman a lot. I can't get any excitement for this. Maybe once we start
generate the excitement.
Well, not with what DC has been putting out lately. If maybe once we start getting trailers and stuff, I'll get more excited about it. But in the meantime, I'm just like, I could care less about all this stuff.
Right. Do you have any problems with the casting so far?
Not really. I mean, like you said, Colin Farrell is a little weird, but if you're going kind of the Penguin as a legitimate businessman who's, like this side gangster, but it's, hard to pin anything on him and stuff like that. So you giving him the mob boss kind of thing. I'm sitting now thinking about Fat Colin. That's funny.
That's right. We're going to fatten him up and shrink him down like Hobbit style from like, you know what I mean? Shrink him down because he's a tall guy. He's like 6'2" or something like that. Or 6'2", like 6'1", whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, fatten him up and shrink him down like with a Hobbit for special effects. And then I'm down. Then they can do whatever they want at that point. I'm like, I'm in it for that. Fat Colin Farrell, I'm down.
Yeah. So
what about this rumor here? Matthew McConaughey as Two-Face, or at least Harvey Dent.
No.
No?
Nope. He's wrong.
Wrong
for that part.
Wrong?
Yeah, he's totally wrong for that part.
All right.
It's
Moving on with that one.
And I mean, I know he's been in serious stuff, but he's a character actor. He's not. He just doesn't have the gravitas, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I thought he made like for instance, I thought he was awesome as Randall Flagg in The Dark Tower. One of the only awesome things about that movie.
Yeah.
Was I liked him as Randall Flagg. I really wished. I'm sad that he's not Randall Flagg in the stale.
Well, I guess
miniseries.
Here's what. I guess pointing out the flag thing that makes me more okay with him as Two-Face than as Harvey Dent. Because Flag was definitely an over-the-top villain.
Right.
He's very much like sinister kind of.
Did you see him in True Detective, though?
No.
Because if you watch that, him and Woody Harrelson in that season True Detective, you're like, okay, he can act. I get that.
Yeah. I don't.
Guy says he thinks he'll nail it, which...
It's not that he can't act. He just doesn't fit the part, in my opinion.
All right.
It's like... to go back to our most recent stories, Joaquin Phoenix is an awesome actor, and he makes a great Psycho. He doesn't make a good Joker. He is not the Joker. He's just some psycho.
He's just some psycho who likes to dress like a clown.
Yeah, I mean...
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
So...
well, I tell you what, though, if I get Fat Colin Farrell, I'm down with McConaughey or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, sure.
So, with all this, is Warner Brothers trying to, build an audience with star power more than, because
they're trying too hard.
True hard, because you look at this cast, and you look at the cast of some of their other movies, something like that they're doing, and you're like, why are they, these big names for these roles? Like when Marvel did this, I mean, they're big names now, but they weren't big names when they were cast, right? Robert Downey Jr. was a has-been.
They were a not quite broken out with Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth is a
nobody.
Nobody.
He did Star Trek before that, and Australian stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, arguably, the biggest name who wasn't a cameo
Scarlett Johansson.
was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the biggest name they had.
Yeah.
And she was, and I guess Potts.
Oh yeah,
Whatever her name is.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow, rock girl.
Yeah, but she was
Magic
like
rock girl.
make fun of Goop.
Yeah, that's it. Goop.
See, they got great pot products.
But yeah, I mean, they're making the mistake of putting the,
Like, why is Will Smith Deadshot? Like, I don't, right. He was good.
I liked him as Deadshot.
Because he's Will Smith, he's awesome, but, I mean, did they need a Will Smith for Deadshot? I guess.
I mean, in my opinion, you can always get away with one big name to cast around for something like that.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the lead, but it can be.
All right, let me ask you this. Who was a big name in, like, Guardians of the Galaxy when that came out? Vin Diesel was the most recognizable name there, and he said three.
Well, no, what's his name?
I mean, come on. Star-Lord. Okay, yeah. Bradley Cooper. The voice actors. The voice actors were the biggest ones.
Voice actors were the biggest names.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's the guy from Parks and Rec and,
Sure, yeah.
Uhura from Star Trek and,
Yeah. No, that's, you are correct. I mean, that's their problem is they're trying to draw people in with big names and not good stories.
Yeah.
People will come back to your movies if they're good. Like, if you put out another Aquaman movie or another Shazam, people would go see them.
Yeah.
They don't. And arguably, the people in those movies were not huge names.
No.
I mean, Jason Momoa was riding off of Game of Thrones, but he was still not a huge name.
No. Like, pretty much everything else was kind of a failure. The Conan reboot and everything. I mean, you're like, well, he was on, Baywatch back in the day?
Yeah. Well, I remember him from Stargate Atlantis.
Stargate Atlantis.
I loved him in Stargate Atlantis. He was great.
You're a big Stargate fan, so
I get it.
And here, and arguably, that was kind of a cool choice, only because they took an actor who pretty much made the character their own, because he doesn't look anything like Aquaman from the comics, right?
Correct.
They didn't take someone to go to try and fit this whole. They took someone that was good, and went, all right, he's good. That's going to go with his strengths, and made him Aquaman. And
they picked an actor who is on the rise, not already a household name.
Right.
So,
there we go. All right.
But yes, I agree with you. They are going the wrong direction with stuffing them full of characters with big name actors, and then the story may or may not be any well thought out. Who knows?
Exactly. You're like, what? All right.
The next story after 22 minutes. So, The Mandalorian premieres November 12th with the launch of Disney Plus.
Yes.
So I can't wait.
Have you already ordered it?
No, not yet.
Ben, get on that. You need to order Disney Plus for us.
The last trailer shows us Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand. I don't actually remember that in the trailer. Was it a blink and you miss it kind of?
No, there was the main trailer that dropped, and then there's been.
Is there something come out since then?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
More reviews add to the high praise, saying it's a game changer.
Now, what does that mean? Because there's no context for that. It's just like.
I mean, a game changer. Yeah, I don't know what that means, because if you're talking about the amount of money they're spending per episode, well, Game of Thrones kind of did that.
Game of Thrones is pretty big, yeah. But for Star Wars, maybe for Star Wars, instead of the same, it breaks away from the mold of the same formula for Star Wars.
Yeah, I just love the Western aesthetic for it. It's just
the anti-hero protagonist.
The man with no name, essentially.
Yeah. Yep.
The post-war. Out on the frontier kind of thing.
The trailer, I tell you what, that last full trailer made me dust off Star Wars: The Old Republic to go back and play my bounty hunter. I'm going to go back in there and play my bounty hunter in that game.
Awesome. You kind of have to play him with where you can grapple people and yank them.
Yeah. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so that was good. But this is a good question. Will a strong Mandalorian help Episode 9? I don't know. Here's the thing. I think Episode 9 is going to be fine.
They're predicting lower sales than like they were.
It might. Well, here's the problem with it. You could predict
Ben's here.
Ben's here. All right.
Ben, get on getting Disney Plus. We're realizing Mandalorian's come out.
Yeah, I mean, here's
12th.
the thing is, the casual fan is not caught up in the Last Jedi controversy.
Yeah.
The casual fan who just like, oh, Star Wars movie, I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
They're going to go see it like they were going to go see any Star Wars movie that came out.
Yes.
The serious fan who, considers them a lifelong Star Wars fan, I can't imagine. I mean, I know there are ones who are out there who say they're done with Star Wars, they're never going to see another one. I can't imagine not going to see the last one.
Yeah.
If you're planning on writing off Star Wars, you might as well see the last one and go, yep, I was right.
These are the same people. These are the same people that watched Phantom Menace and then went back for Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They watched that and went, okay, let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
And then stuck around for Revenge of the Sith. You're like, okay.
And I think it's hilarious that there are people who are like, you notice the controversy on the prequels has kind of died down. Nobody really talks about it anymore. And it's because it happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it anymore because we've kind of just written it off. Yeah, you can essentially prequels go, Revenge of the Sith was good.
Revenge of the Sith was good.
I'm good. That's all I needed from that.
If you want to watch
Clone
the prequels, start the first one at the end with the lightsaber fight, and then watch from there. And then cut out the front of it. Then you get rid of all the midichlorian. You get rid of a lot of that stuff. Then you just have some bad dialogue from the second movie, and then an awesome movie at the end.
Yeah, it's like, anyways. I think if you're really a true Star Wars fan, you're gonna go see this just to finish it off. Because if you're in the boat that The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars, it can't be salvaged.
But you don't think a strong Mandalorian would fix that?
No.
Because it got me excited to play Star Wars, Star Wars Old Republic game. Again, just that trailer. If it gets you excited for the universe, right? Because I think if it's strong.
I think it's more likely to. I think the people who are going to get Disney Plus and watch The Mandalorian probably would have seen the Rise of Skywalker anyway. The key is going to be, is Rise of Skywalker good enough for people to go back? For fans who are maybe lapsed or nearly lapsed, to go for repeat viewings like you need for Star Wars to be uber successful.
Okay.
Can it wrap them back in and go, look, we fixed it, and bring you back multiple times? It's on the Rise of Skywalker, not Mandalorian.
Not Mandalorian to fix it.
Because there are a lot of people who are like,
this leads directly to our next topic here, which is the future of Star Wars.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at what's happening, so Bob Iger has recently said they're taking a less is more approach when it comes to Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So which means we're going to have instead of having movies every year like we've been having,
yeah,
I'm going to thin those out into the fact that it was announced Kevin Feige will not be replacing Kathleen Kennedy, which was all the big speculation.
Yeah.
So I think that's just they're saying that because she's still under contract. And
yeah, he's not going to replace her immediately.
You think we're doing another trilogy with a fresh start, Ben? I don't know, because the trilogies they had planned are going by the wayside, including Benioff and Weiss's Old Republic trilogy was canceled.
Yeah.
But I think that has more to do with their Netflix contract than...
Yeah, they just backed out.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with the reaction to the last season of Game of Thrones, that backlash.
Possibly, but that hasn't stopped them from getting a hundreds of millions of dollar deal from Netflix.
Oh, yeah, well, that's Netflix. That just fell out the back of their truck. They're like, here you go. Here, we're Netflix. You can have we'll cut you out with a piece. Yeah, you want to make something? I don't care what it is. Here you go. Make something. We'll put it up there.
Netflix doesn't have that compared to Disney.
Well, Netflix has got... Netflix, look, they're doing a shotgun approach to their movie making. Yeah. Right? They're like, you want to make a movie? Here you go. Here you go. One of these will be successful. And that's all we need. We need one of them to drive subscriptions.
Yeah, but hundreds of millions?
Well, maybe not hundreds of millions. But
yeah, I mean, it was a huge number.
It was, they got a lot of money. But
it was a big enough number that it was way more than they were being paid to make a Star Wars or a Star Wars trilogy.
Okay, fair enough.
And they're like, nope, never mind.
Lock them into making movies. They're just going to churn out Netflix stuff for a while. All right.
Yeah, who knows?
And we know the Rian Johnson trilogy got nixed, which was not a shock to anybody.
Nope, not really.
So will there be more Star Wars? And if so, when? No, I think obviously the answer is yes.
Yeah.
They didn't pay all that money for Star Wars, $9 billion for Star Wars and not
and remember,
want to recoup their money.
Kevin Feige's not replacing Kathleen Kennedy does not mean he's not producing a movie.
That's true.
For them. So, which will likely be a trilogy.
Yeah.
It's unlike, I think he's going to get a trilogy. Well, he's going to produce a trilogy. So he's going to look for people. And he is the type of producer who's going to look for somebody or a group of somebodies that are passionate about Star Wars, and he's going to get a cohesive story out of them.
Right.
He's not going to just let them shotgun it and go, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the worst decision ever made. Was the not having a game plan.
Not having a game plan. We're gonna, tell a Star Wars story by like telephone.
You can
tell like game telephone. I'll tell apart.
You could go back and go, Lucas didn't have an overall plan when Star Wars was made, but
he had an overall vision.
He was the one who picked it up from there, and then came up with this is what's happened, and this is where I can take it.
Yeah. And that's always been his strength, is world building.
Yeah.
Have Kevin Smith write one. I don't know. For Star Wars, he's a fan. Let's see how he does with He-Man first. Let's see how he tries. Let's see him write something without dick and fart jokes first. Like, I love Kevin Smith. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith is awesome, and I know he can.
Well, and he's got a mixed comic book writing bag. There's some, he's got some great stories and some what were you thinking stories.
Like,
So, we'll see what happens there. Who knows if Jon Favreau has the time with The Mandalorian, but he would be, at least as a director, maybe not a writer, but he has the passion to be a director for it.
That's true. Yeah. Well, he oversaw. Him and Filoni are overseeing The Mandalorian. Right.
Yeah. So and taking some turns directing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he brought in some talented directors for this. So,
for now, Mandalorian's the future. So we'll see what happens.
And the Ben Kenobi.
Kenobi series.
Six episode series that was basically they said it was the movie. They had the movie planned out, and then now they're redoing it and breaking it up to as a 6-part series instead.
I'm wondering how close we're gonna stick to the Kenobi Western book.
I hope close. Yeah, because that was awesome.
But yeah, we'll see. It is kind of hard to predict right now. There's no definite answers. We'll get a Star Wars Celebration next year where we'll get something. I'm sure by that point Feige will have a plan for what he's gonna do. So I don't know I think Star Celebration goes back to London next year.
Yeah.
So obviously we won't be there, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely in a rough place. The game, the Jedi Fallen Order is getting great reviews. I don't like those style of games, but I'm still kind of intrigued. I'm intrigued by, and I've heard that the campaign mode's not great, but I've watched some videos on the lore of Battlefront 2 and the story that goes on. I actually thought the story sounded good.
Yeah, it actually had
the
a story
for the campaign sounded cool.
Yeah.
The Fallen Order story sounds okay, but it sounds like, one last Padawan that escaped kind of story.
All I know is that Order 66 they sucked at. They let so many Jedi slip through their finger.
It was really. When you're talking about thousands of Jedi spreading around,
true.
Not everyone was with clone troopers or in the capital or something like that. So
that's true. Went on vacation, come back, like, what?
Yeah. But anyways.
All right, well, let's move it on to our next story, Doug.
All right. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 is coming in 2022.
Yes, they did an announcement, teaser announcement trailer.
Yeah, so Warner Brother looks to be pushing DC fans towards wrong. To no one's surprise, the best Sony Spider movie since Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is getting a sequel. The teaser trailer shows a much bigger movie with many more Spider-Men. How many comicbookmovienews.com broke it down to 22 different logos, which include Spider-Man 2099, Japanese Spider-Man, and Spider Carnage.
Right. Those are just some of the 3 of the 22.
Yeah. Presumably all of the ones from the first Into the Spider-Verse will be coming back.
Yeah.
And that was
4 or 5?
No, it was like 10 or something.
Well, they had Noir Spider-Man. The main ones were Noir Spider-Man, Spider-Ham, the one anime one, and
you had Spider-Gwen.
Then Spider-Gwen, and then Fat Spider-Man.
And Peter Parker, and
Peter Parker
Miles Morales.
is dead, but Miles Morales. But yeah, so there was 6.
Peter Parker was
7. Yeah, he was the original the main Peter Parker died in the first part of that movie, and then it was replaced by Fat Peter Parker from the alternate universe where he split up with Mary Jane. That was great. By the way, that movie was so awesome. I don't care. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. They kind of teased Spider-Man 2099 at the end of that movie. It's kind of a tease. So I'm excited to see him join the cast. Spider-Man. We'll hope he has his car and his giant robot.
Yeah. So who knows? Yeah.
So super excited. 2022 though. That's a
long time for an animated movie. They don't usually take that long.
Yeah.
Well, they don't usually announce them that far ahead.
That's true. Yeah. They do take a while to do.
I still don't think they take more than a year to make.
Yeah.
But maybe Sony doesn't have that big a animation department. They don't have that many resources to work with. Who knows? But it's coming. We're excited about it. And now let's talk about DC Universe. This is, for those who don't know, is a DC property streaming service that subscription
subscription service that basically has some unique content. It basically has different live action superhero series, Titans, Doom Patrol. They had Swamp Thing.
Right.
They're going to get Stargirl coming up here. Mm-hmm. And like Titans is into its season 2 already. And Doom Patrol season 2 is coming up. But it's one of those weird things where you get all the back stuff, the back DC stuff in there too. All the old movies. One of the coolest features of it, which I'm surprised is not a bigger selling point for it, is the comic books. Because you have access to pretty much all the DC library.
Right.
6 months and older.
Yeah.
So, that's you used to pay almost as much just for that service.
Right.
With some of the other comic book companies.
Well, look at it this way. It's for the price of 3 or 4 comics, you're getting all comics that are 6 months or older.
That is true. That's true with the price of comics nowadays. But the question is, how long is this going to last? Is it going away? Because right after they launched DC Universe, there was a merger they're bought out by AT&T, right? And they wanted a full Warner Brothers streaming platform instead of just a DC one. So they kind of wanted to do what Marvel is in with Disney. So Disney's the umbrella, and Marvel's just one of the parts of that.
Sure.
So Disney, Star Wars, Pixar, and then the Fox Animation or Fox and Disney. Because it looks like it might be going that way. It looks like Warner Bros. Is just, like Doug said earlier, looking to push DC fans towards HBO Max. And the reason why we got this partnership with HBO Max, the CW DC properties have just announced that they will drop fully on HBO Max as soon as the season ends. So once the season ends, the entire season drops on HBO Max.
Does that mean it's going away from Netflix?
Probably. So, which means, because before you had to wait, it wasn't just like the season ended and you had to wait for the next season to start before the last one dropped on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as the season ends, the last episode, boom, it's on HBO Max. And another evidence to that is that Doom Patrol Season 2 is going to air simultaneously. It's going to drop on both DC Universe and HBO Max at the same time. So if you got HBO Max, you can see it. You don't need to buy DC Universe. So is that the future? Are they just pushing more towards that, and then HBO Max is going to be their streaming service?
Maybe.
As opposed to and DC Universe going by the wayside.
Well,
and if so, are we going to lose access to the comics? You know.
Yeah, that's an interesting dilemma. And I think this is Warner and AT&T trying to address a growing problem. There are too many streaming services.
We're back to cable again.
So if you can find a way to consolidate with somebody else and, kind of merge together and go in together.
Yeah.
You kind
of like Disney did with Hulu.
Right. Well, yeah, to a degree. I mean, they are still two distinct entities.
But you can pay one price for them both.
Correct. But Disney has enough content, I think, to survive as its own streaming service, whereas Warner Brothers might struggle with that. They don't have as extensive a superhero library. They don't have as many. Well, they've got 3 shows going on to 4.
Yeah, they canceled the 4th one.
Disney is.
They canceled Swamp Thing, but Stargirl's coming.
Disney's coming right out of the gate with 4.
Yeah,
I think is it 4 or 5.
Yeah. Falcon and
just for
Bucky,
just for the Marvel.
WandaVision, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight. Yeah. So.
I think that's it is a distinct possibility.
That's going away.
Yeah. The problem here is
Ben, you got to get HBO Max now, so I can watch Doom Patrol.
There's going to be a breaking point at some point where somebody's going to die. That some company is just going to be hung out to dry, where it's like you just don't offer enough content. Yeah, you've got this one thing that everybody wants to watch, but it's not enough to pull people in, and your streaming service is just going to fade away.
My vote is CBS All Access.
Yeah.
What someone needs to do is someone needs to develop a program that automatically drops subscriptions and adds other ones as shows come out. So like when Picard drops, you drop something else that you just finished watching and automatically get CBS All Access. So you're paying the same price every month, but it's for different stuff, right?
Here's what this is from a business perspective, this is a capitalizing on a cultural phenomena. Is these companies are all betting that in the social media world, you aren't willing to wait until a show is completely out before picking up the subscription, watching that show, and then canceling it. Because of social media, people want to be the first to talk about something or don't want it spoiled, so they're gonna pick up the service to watch it as it comes out, instead of just I am not going to get CBS All Access until Picard is done. So then I'll pick it up and watch.
Pay 1 month to watch the whole series.
Watch all of Picard.
Because that's the only thing I care about in that series.
That is literally because, and it depends. Like I like NCIS, but not enough to pay for the subscription.
Well, here's the thing: there's going to be groups of friends. They're going to treat it like board games, right? Where each one buys one, and they all share, right?
Yeah, true.
So I mean
Netflix at least has caught on to that and is like, okay, who's watching? Yeah. Make an account for who's watching and who wants to
so they can
mark
track
things
it
as their favorites.
Yeah, so they can track it.
Yeah, so I mean, to that sense, hey, cool.
Yeah. But. So all right, well, sorry, Ben. I think DC Universe is going away.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for our main stories. Now on to our smaller stories, our small bits of news, our nerd nuggets, if you will. Doug's favorite part of it. He refuses to say nerd nuggets.
I do.
Like Kirsten will say it.
She loves it.
It's like nerd nuggets. All right. First up, former X-Men Daniel Cudmore joins Hellstrom series. Hellstrom's a weird one because they've pretty much canceled all the Marvel series, and they're not going to be on Disney, right? Except for Hellstrom, which would not be on Disney, right? So this is going to be like the son of Satan, anti-hero kind of guy.
Who's Daniel Cudmore?
He was Colossus. He was Colossus in three different X-Men movies.
Okay, yeah.
And X-Men X2, X-Men Last, or it was X-Men Last Stand, and he was in Days of Future Past.
All right.
So.
And who's he joining the series as?
I don't know. I do know. They said a name. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this character. I'm not familiar with the show. No one is.
The character's a character from the freaking 60s.
Yeah.
It's just I don't get it.
Yeah, it's from the Son of Sam era when the whole Satan scary thing was all. Yeah, that's when Mephisto was big and they brought out Hellstrom and all these weird.
It's like here are Ghost many
Ghost
more.
Rider. Yeah,
there's so many more ways you could have gone with this that would have been so much better than. I mean, and maybe they thought they had more freedom with a character that's not in the consciousness that much.
Yeah, because Disney doesn't care about Hellstrom. They're like, that we don't want that associated with Marvel.
Yeah. So, all right. Stranger Things season 4 teases a comic book theme with the premiere episode titled "The Hellfire Club," a classic X-Men villain group, and coming back.
Yeah,
it's back in the revitalized X-Men.
So, what do you think about this? You think that's just a one-off? I mean, first off, knowing the writers and creators of Stranger Things, that's not just a...
No.
They didn't stumble onto that name.
Now, I don't think it will be terribly prominent based on the imagery of the Hellfire Club. But, I mean, maybe you're going to get a early... You know what would be really cool is if they play into the early Dark Phoenix stuff with the Hellfire Club and the illusionist whose name escapes me right now.
Yeah, I know.
He was one of the... I forget what role he even played. But anyways, the guy who basically turns Dark Phoenix that they've never used in any of the movies, but the guy who turns Phoenix into the Dark Phoenix.
Right.
They might have that comic book be in the movie just to kind of hint at it, and then it play into the psychic phenomena that's going on. You have illusions. Maybe freaking Elle's gonna go Dark Phoenix route. So who knows?
Yeah, the possibilities though.
It's kind of some interesting possibilities.
They know how to tease this show. They're like, oh, here you go, Hellfire Club.
I mean, this is cool, and I like that idea of a bad. Maybe Elle goes Dark Phoenix on them. I was opposed to there being a fourth season. I thought
it ended.
I thought it had done what it needed to do.
Yeah, because you got to bring.
I was upset with Steve's ending until I realized there was another one coming.
Yeah,
and you have to leave him as the lovable loser until
the final season. He better get some kind of.
Then he has to get a girl, and be, and
Yeah,
he's already. In the fans' mind, one of, if not the star of the show.
Yeah.
But he needs to get the recognition in the universe for what he's done. So
yeah, I agree.
So that needs to happen in season 4.
Who started off as your typical '80s bad guy, and then turns into like the one of the part of the heart and soul of the series. You're like, okay, yep, I love that series. Yeah. All right. Leaked images show a far more game-accurate Sonic the Hedgehog than before, but will it be enough to save the movie now that it looks less realistic? So now it went with a realistic-looking Sonic, and everyone went, oh my god, what is that? Creepy-looking, real-eyed thing. Now he's got the giant cartoon eyes.
Yeah.
He looks like this video game Sonic the Hedgehog. Will that be enough to...
I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Is Sonic the Hedgehog a big game right now? Have they had a new release of the game, a new version of the game come out recently?
Sega from back in the day.
And 2, how many people have been clamoring for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
I don't know.
He's got
a fan base.
Nothing's going to save this movie. This was a poorly conceived
But
option.
do you realize the amount of money they spent going? But they made the movie. First off, they made the movie. A trailer came out for it, and everyone went, "Oh my God, Sonic looks awful." So much so that they went back. The creator, the director's all like, "All right, we're gonna fix this. Don't worry," and then spent, like got everybody back in there with the whips. We fixed this.
Yeah.
The movie was done. They had to go back in and change the main character in the entire movie to look more like the video game version. So
This movie will bomb.
This movie will bomb.
I guarantee. I guarantee it's a bomb.
The Doug's prediction right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much? Let me look something up real quick.
How much? Is it going to be like, is it going to be like Mario Brothers bad, or
Let's look something up.
kind of
here.
video game? How bad a video game movie is this going to be? Because I got to tell you, the Jim Carrey as is it Dr. Robotnik or whatever with the mustache? He looks weird, and then at the he doesn't look like him at all except for the mustache. And then later on, actually, he doesn't look like him at all, really. And then at the end of the movie, or in the trailer, you got like a little teaser that he turns into what the Dr. Robotnik from the video game. I don't know.
All right. If Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds can only make $431 million, this one,
And that was a success.
and that's, I mean, it's a success. It was $150 million budget.
Okay, but
So
Pokemon is a much bigger audience than
it is
Sonic
a
the Hedgehog.
much bigger audience, and it had Ryan Reynolds.
And Ryan Reynolds.
This thing,
It's got Jim Carrey.
if it makes $200 million, I will be surprised.
Worldwide?
Worldwide,
Wow.
this was $431 million.
A lot of people love Sonic, and they went back and changed it for him. I just can't imagine how much more money they spent taking 6 months to redo an entire movie main character.
Too much.
Too much.
They're
They're not going to make back what they spent to redo the character.
Maybe not. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
This is an interesting story. Production has halted on Marvel's Eternals when the cast had to be evacuated once an unexploded Nazi bomb was discovered at the shoot location in the Canary Islands.
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, an unexploded Nazi bomb. That's
Well, and they still discover landmines in Europe
Oh yeah.
on a not a regular basis, but
Fairly
fairly
regular
regular
basis,
for
yeah.
so
For
that's
for
kind of
a
interesting.
70-year-old
Yeah.
war. So yeah, an unexploded Nazi
Very
bomb.
interesting that. Well, that is a story to tell.
Yeah. That's just can imagine what could have happened. You're like, oh my God, could you imagine that headline? All these huge big names,
Yeah.
Nazis blowing them up after all these years.
Nazis are trying to stop Marvel.
Nazis are trying to stop Marvel, trying to bomb out Marvel. All right. Doug, just for you. Joker movie has made over $900 million and is still going strong. That was like, what, 5 days ago it hit the $900 million mark?
No, I don't know.
Worldwide. So it's going to hit $1 billion.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean, Terminator Dark Fate kind of came out and bombed. It was no competition for it.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
well, I didn't go see either, so
Yeah.
It's-
You're the reason why Terminator failed.
yeah. I
no.
haven't seen a Terminator.
Terminators 3 through 7 or whatever the however many there's been are the reason Terminator failed.
And come on, let's be honest. This was essentially Terminator 2 again.
Yeah, very much.
It was essentially the same movie.
Here's the thing. Terminator was a great movie on its own. It was a great idea for one movie. And then James Cameron came around and did Terminator 2, and it was actually even better than the original Terminator, right? But there's only so many times you can tell a story of a robot coming back in the future to kill somebody
And failing.
and failing.
Yet somehow they
keep coming back.
Well, and somehow they had, taken over the entire Earth, but
Yeah.
they can't kill this one person.
Yeah. I'm like,
So yeah,
Come
there's
on.
only so many times that you can do that believably.
yeah.
And I mean, essentially, this is the T2000 coming back. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit,
The only way that story would be cool if it told a story of in the future when the robots have already taken over, and they already did that with Christian Bale even, and that movie sucked.
It could have been so good.
It could have been so good because they had Christian Bale, right?
And a lot of it was good, but there was just the story fell apart.
And they had Anton Yelchin playing Kyle Reese, who I don't know how he channeled, what's his name? Michael Biehn?
Bane. Yeah, Bean.
Bean, whatever.
I think it's Michael Bane.
Yeah, I don't know how he just channeled that character. He did like the same mannerisms and the same the gritty teeth. You're like, oh my, Anton Yelchin, man, we lost him way too young because he was a talent.
Yeah.
Definitely. He pulled that off, and I'm like, that could have been so good. And then we got what we got.
Yep.
So is this the final death day? If James Cameron can't come back and produce it and make it successful, then I don't think it's possible. If they brought Linda Hamilton, they brought back Arnold Schwarzenegger. If they can't do it,
come up with a new idea.
Yeah, it's just done.
Yeah.
Terminator's done.
Yep.
You heard it here. You heard it. Probably not first because everybody was saying it, but it's done. But what do you think about the Joker making $1 billion? It's kind of, for an R-rated movie, probably one of the most profitable movies ever. You look at the budget for it.
Yeah.
And then you think the controversy is what's pushing this?
Well, partly. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor.
Yeah.
Yes. And I guess in a really cynical way, making him the Joker instead of just Bob the Clown or whatever, pulls people in.
Yeah, because you get the comic book crowd.
Yeah,
you get
so.
All right.
So you were all suckers.
You fell for it.
All you comic book nerds who freaking went and saw this movie that wasn't a Joker movie,
Kyle's with us. Kyle didn't like this movie.
Yeah, it's... I have no idea if the movie's good or not. From principle, I will not see the movie because it's not the Joker.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
Just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'll see it, but I won't pay money for it. So, there we go.
All right. The Loki series will tie into Doctor Strange, and Hawkeye was originally a movie. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The Loki series tying into Doctor Strange.
Would make sense if he's traveling through time, messing with stuff.
So that multiverse of madness. Yeah, that's
so that means WandaVision, Loki, and Doctor Strange,
are all tied together.
It's all basically one big story going together, culminating in Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see if by the end of his. Is the Loki series first?
No, it's.
Is it after Doctor Strange?
No, it's right before. So it goes Falcon and Bucky, then it goes WandaVision, then it goes Loki, and then Doctor Strange comes out.
So it'll be interesting to see if WandaVision leads into Loki, or if it just WandaVision goes to Doctor Strange, Loki goes to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
And it'd be interesting to see if Loki is an antagonist or protagonist by the time he gets to the end of his series and goes into Doctor Strange. That's it.
Man.
And
they know how to sell this.
Ties into does not mean that Loki will be in Doctor Strange.
Right. But what he does in his series
might lead into it.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. And then the Hawkeye thing was, it was originally going to be a Hawkeye movie, and then Kevin Feige was kind of nervous about pitching Jeremy Renner on because they promised him a movie. He gets his own movie, Black Widow gets her own movie, and then Hawkeye was going to get his own movie.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I think this would work better if we did it as a miniseries instead. Right? So instead of a 3-hour or 2-hour movie, we have a 6-hour miniseries.
Right.
And he went for it. He was like, he was all about it. He understood the story, was going. So, but it kind of funny is Kevin Feige was saying how he was nervous to pitch him on it because
here's the thing: is
he promised him the movie.
I am in a sense, a non-traditional comic book fan because I hate a lot of characters that in the comics that are. I don't know if I would go so far as to say favorites, but that people glom onto maybe is I don't know. I don't like Hawkeye in the comics at all.
Really?
I can't stand it.
Did you read his miniseries?
No, I did not.
That was very good. I kind of agree with you. Early on, he was whiny,
80s
jealous.
and 90s Avengers, I did not like him at all.
Yeah.
Could care less. But Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, is criminally underused.
Yes.
So I'm glad he's getting his own series.
Yes.
And it's kind of like everybody who's clamoring for Namor in the MCU. I'm like, I hate Namor.
I do too.
I think he's a horrible character.
He's a homewrecker.
Yeah. And he's just
Homewrecker Fishman.
He's just not an interesting character.
He's a ripoff of Aquaman.
He's what you would get if you took Aquaman and then gave him Doctor Doom's personality without Doctor Doom's capabilities.
He's a little arrogant.
It's just
I don't know if he's full on megalomaniac or not, but he is pretty arrogant.
And I really hope that they don't make him an integral part in Black Panther, because I know in the comics they're rivals and stuff like that.
Right.
But Black Panther deserves so much better.
So much better than Namor.
Namor's just he's just so awful.
Namor. Fishman.
He is a waste of a character.
Homewrecker Fishman.
I mean, not a waste of a character.
Who should have been dead in the comics.
Who is a waste.
When he was hitting on Sue Storm, all Reed Richards had to do was like, oh, give me a minute. He goes back into his... Yeah. It takes 5 minutes to build him a fish killer gun and comes back and dispatches him. There you go.
Fish fry.
All right. And the last little story we got here is we've got confirmation from Marvel that Thunderbolts and Ironheart are both in the early stages of development at Marvel. So now, no word on whether this is Disney series stuff, although they're saying Ironheart is definitely probably a Disney Plus project. No word whether it's animated or whether it's live action or anything like that. Thunderbolts, they don't know if it's a movie or not, right? And if they're going to go with the full on bad guy posing as hero route, or they're going to do more of the traditional what Thunderbolts became. But they've got Baron Zemo, right? And they've got him. He's going to be wearing a mask in Bucky and Winter Soldier, right?
It'll be interesting to see how that goes into Thunderbolts. I assume Thunderbolts will be a series as well.
Yeah, you think so?
It's got too much baggage to make sense to people as a movie. You need to, there's a lot of setup to get there. And none of those guys have been bad guys in any of the movies except Zemo.
Right.
So how do you set up these bad guys who then pretend to be good guys, who then decide they don't want to pretend anymore, that they really want to be good guys?
If they do it, is that where we're going to get our Carnage crossover? Or not Carnage, or Venom crossover?
Maybe, but he's never a Thunderbolt, was he?
Yeah, he posed as Spider-Man, remember?
That was on Dark Avengers.
Was that Dark Avengers? Okay, never mind. You're right. No, it wasn't. It was because
the Thunderbolts were
Trap
not...
Master...
Thunderbolts
or Paste Pot Pete, as I always call him, because that's what he was originally back in the Paste Pot Pete, who had a glue gun.
Yeah.
And then he became
Trap Master,
and then he became on the Thunderbolts the guy with the jetpack. And then it was Moonstone was I think it was her name, Moonstone.
I don't remember.
Anyway.
I never really paid much attention to
And then Ares was just Ares because he's like, I don't care, they're bad guys. He was a good guy before, and then the bad guys joined. He's like, I don't care.
Again.
That was Dark Avengers. I'm mixing up Dark Avengers and Thunderbolts. You're right. Yeah. Thunderbolts was just. See, they should start Dark Avengers because then you had Norman Osborn instead of.
Yeah.
But Thunderbolts was just Moonstone, Paste Pot Pete, Baron Zemo, and it was one other. Who was the other?
I think there were two others, but I don't remember who they were.
I don't remember. Oh, Songbird. Which was the Sonic...
She was the Shriek or something like that.
Shriek, who's also going to be in Venom, the Venom movie.
Oh, yeah. All right. Anyways, I didn't pay a lot of attention to Thunderbolts.
Stuff.
But,
too many years of comic book knowledge.
Now, which Ironheart are they going to go with?
Riri Williams. They're not going to do anything other than Riri Williams.
The only problem I have with this is you waited too long.
Yeah. There's no Tony Stark to pass the torch.
Yeah, there's no Tony Stark to pass the torch. And especially with you got Spider-Man kind of inheriting Stark.
Spider-Man definitely took her role in the MCU.
Is he going to is he going to mentor her? And then how does that work?
I don't know.
I'd almost rather, if you're going to do it, use his daughter. Then there's at least a tie.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like Miss Marvel, who they can just do, which they're also doing.
Miss Marvel's just, I heard of her.
I've heard of her, and I want to emulate her.
Yeah.
Riri Williams was a direct, here's my technology.
Hey, look, I made what you made.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, see? So.
I almost wish, it doesn't really work again, but frickin' T'Challa's sister.
Oh, yeah. Shuri?
Shuri.
She would be awesome kind of in that mantle.
Yeah.
Although it's hard to see her going like with Stark
that was
direction as opposed to her own.
And that was a big missed opportunity, is not having those two interact.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
agree.
going like, whoa.
Yeah.
Somebody who's as smart as I am.
Exactly. That would have been awesome.
Because you had the moment with Banner where he was just like, we didn't think
Of
it.
that?
Which is cool, but
Yeah.
not the same.
Not the same. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That wraps up our week of nerd news, our opinions, and
Drop the stories.
boom. Yes. There we go. We're done with it. We read that. Talked a little bit about Comic-Con and got caught up here. Sorry we missed out the last couple weeks. Halloween was hectic. Well, you were gone,
Yeah.
and then Halloween was hectic,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, so I guess it was 2 weeks ago I was in
2
San
weeks
Diego.
ago. Yeah. Man.
That's cool. It was a good tournament. I like it.
But we're back, guys. We're back, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Kirsten will join us next week with more nerd news. Same time, now that because of the time change, and we don't change because we're in Arizona, now we're on Mountain Time.
And watch for tweets from us, because we may next week launch a new podcast on our gaming channel for the Grizzled War Masters, our gaming channel.
Yes.
We might start doing an Age of Sigmar podcast like immediately after this one.
Yep.
So watch for that. We'll let you know that it's happening.
Yeah, I'll be right there, so you can just switch over if you're interested. We really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. Join us again next week, Thursday, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. We're going to be back sometime later this week.
No, I don't think it's 6:30 Mountain Standard Time anymore, because Daylight Savings Time just kicked in.
That's what I was saying. Because of Daylight Savings, we're Mountain instead of Pacific now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, which is better for all the East Coast folks.
Yeah.
Like Ben, who doesn't have to stay up nearly as late watching us now.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking Central when you
Yep.
said Mountain.
Yep. Yeah. All right, folks. There you have it. And if you want to support us other than liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends, we want to get that subscriber count up. We've had a boost of subscribers recently. We want to keep that rolling.
Yeah.
I think partially of that is because Ruby's getting back out. So if you
Yeah,
guys
it's
if
coming.
you like Ruby, our Ruby reactions will start hitting next week as soon as Shane gets them edited.
I think it's,
Tuesday, we'll have it out there. Tuesday, episode 1. All right, folks, if you want to support us and the things we do here, eventually there'll be links down below. Doug, what will they be to?
one will be to our Teespring store, where you can get shirts like this, a couple of other designs. 2 is to our Amazon affiliate link, which is the easiest way you can support us. You just click that link, do your regular shopping. We get a small kickback, doesn't cost you anything extra. Or you can check us out on Patreon, where we are reacting exclusively for patrons to My Hero Academia.
Yep. There you have it, folks. So thank you very much for coming out and joining us, or for those of you watching later, or for those of you listening on to the podcast on Stitcher or iTunes. Those are the two we're on, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. If you're listening and you want to see our faces, you can check us out at YouTube/thegrizzledgeek.com. All right, folks. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.